Imagine standing before 7 ancient doors, each with its own symbol, each radiating its own frequency. As you approach them, you feel it in your bones. One of these doors isn't just a path, it's the portal. But here's the twist. You don't get to pick it. It picks you, and maybe it already has. In this transmission, we're going to walk through all 7 signs, but not the way you've heard it before. This isn't a listicle. This is a layered decoding. Because only one of these signs gives you a 100 times chance of being what I call the Omega chosen one. You're not just spiritually gifted. You're the end seed, the final fractal, the soul blueprint encoded to complete a cycle that began before time had a name. Now here's what you need to know before we go deeper. All 7 signs are sacred. All 7 are markers of activation, but 6 of them are preparatory. They sculpt you, refine you, deconstruct the egoic scaffolding so that the one can emerge. Think of them like trials in a cosmic video game. You don't skip them, you transcend them. But the 7th, it's not a trial. It's a signal, a code. A frequency that doesn't make sense to your logical mind but sets your entire cellular structure vibrating in recognition. And I'll tell you right now, you probably already know which one it is, but you've been doubting it your whole life because it didn't look powerful. It looked broken. It looked strange. It looked like the part of yourself you tried to fix, hide, or erase. Let's start with the first sign. You've always felt like an outsider, even among outsiders. You're the one who couldn't fully belong to any group, not because you're arrogant, but because your soul wouldn't let you merge. Even in spiritual communities, you feel like you're translating from another dimension. You notice patterns no one else sees. You feel truth in places other people fear to look. And sometimes it's exhausting. This isn't just being sensitive or intuitive. This is what I call dimensional dissonance. Your soul is running a frequency from a future timeline, and this reality hasn't caught up yet. So you live in constant translation mode. You're not just decoding the world, you're re-encoding it with every choice you make. But you're doing it in a language only your soul understands. The second sign is that your suffering has never been random. Look at your life. Look at the patterns, the pain that keeps showing up, the betrayals, the losses, the inexplicable almosts. You think it's bad luck or karma, but it's not. It's precision training. The Omega chosen ones are not pampered by the universe. They are forged. That means your heartbreaks were not detours. They were activations. Every time you broke, something dormant cracked open. Every time you hit the bottom, a deeper coding came online. The others didn't survive what you did, but you did. So let me ask you something. What if your pain wasn't a punishment, but a proof? What if the universe has been preparing you to carry a frequency that only a soul as tempered as yours could hold? The third sign is equally strange. You've always felt time differently. You experience déjà vu like it's your second language. Time loops, prophetic dreams, knowing things before they happen, feeling ancient and futuristic at the same time. This isn't just intuition, it's temporal elasticity. Your consciousness isn't bound to linear causality. You are what quantum mystics call a time anchor, someone who stabilizes multidimensional timelines through being. You don't have to do anything dramatic. You just have to be aligned. Your presence shifts probability fields. You think you're just walking into a room, but you're actually realigning the timeline of everyone in it. This is why you feel drained after social events. You're not just socializing, you're time weaving. Now here's the fourth sign, and this one is subtle but powerful. You've always been allergic to authority. Not because you're rebellious, but because you remember sovereignty. You question systems. You challenge dogma. Even your own beliefs are constantly evolving because you refuse to be caged by ideology. But here's the twist. You're not here to destroy structure. You're here to recode it. You are a spiritual architect. That means you're not just here to say no to the old. You're here to build the new. But the reason you've struggled in school, jobs, even relationships, is because your frequency cannot submit to anything that denies truth. So let me ask you, how long will you keep trying to shrink yourself to fit into systems that were never designed for you? The fifth sign is your relationship with silence. Not just external silence, but inner stillness. You've always had a part of you that longs to disappear, to go off-grid, to sit in silence for years. And maybe you've judged that part, called it laziness, escapism, but it's not. It's your soul's way of tuning in. Because when you're quiet, you don't hear nothing, you hear everything. Silence for you is not empty, it's pregnant. It's filled with codes, downloads, transmissions. You've probably gone through periods where you couldn't explain why, but you just had to be alone. That's not isolation, that's recalibration. Omega chosen ones need solitude to stay calibrated to their mission. So if you've felt like a hermit at times, good, you were listening. Now we come to the sixth sign, and this one is hard to speak about. It's the experience of deep forgetfulness. You've forgotten parts of yourself. Maybe your childhood feels like a blur. Maybe you've had weird memory gaps or entire chapters of your life that feel like they happened to someone else. This isn't trauma alone. It's soul compression. Your higher self compressed its memory to enter this density. Because to remember too much too soon would have short-circuited your mission. You weren't supposed to remember everything, you were supposed to rediscover it in layers. Like a video game, each level unlocks more of your true self. So the question is, are you ready to stop punishing yourself for forgetting and start celebrating every fragment you remember? And now, the seventh sign. The one that gives you a 100 times chance of being an Omega chosen one. The sign that hides in plain sight. It's not the most mystical. It's not the most glamorous. In fact, it's the one you've probably tried to hide from the world. Are you ready? It's your shame, yes, your deepest shame. The thing you swore you'd never speak aloud. The flaw, the failure, the identity, the secret that makes you feel unworthy of light. That's the doorway. That's the key. Because only the Omega soul agrees to incarnate carrying the opposite of their final form. You're not just here to heal shame. You're here to alchemize it into sacred fire. Your shame isn't the wound, it's the raw material of your transformation. And that's why it gives you a 100 times chance. Because if you can face it, transmute it, and walk as if it were your greatest teacher, you unlock a field of light so powerful. It doesn't just change your life, it shifts the grid for generations. So ask yourself, what if the thing you're most ashamed of is the exact thing that proves you were chosen? How your deepest wound is the signature of your Omega destiny. You're still here, and that matters. Because when we started this decoding, you might have thought this was just another spiritual checklist. But now, something deeper is vibrating within you. You heard that seventh sign and it stuck. It didn't just land in your mind, it echoed through your bones. Why? Because you've lived it. You've carried it. That secret pain, that hidden identity, that thing you told yourself disqualified you from being chosen, is the very marker of your Omega lineage. You see, the Omega chosen ones are not just awakened beings. They are alchemical architects. Your soul didn't come to float above suffering. It came to descend into it, to become it, and then to transmute it into light. That's why your shame runs so deep, because your mission is so vast. The deeper the shame, the greater the light potential it holds once transmuted. But here's the paradox. Most people spend their entire lives running from this seventh sign. They bury it, numb it, disguise it in layers of performance. And understandably so. The world punishes vulnerability. It rewards masks. But we are not here to play by the world's rules. We are here to recode them. That means the Omega path begins not with accomplishment, but with surrender. Not the weak kind of surrender, but the kind that breaks open universes. When you stop hiding your shame and start bringing it to the altar, something miraculous happens. You begin to access a field of intelligence that was sealed behind that wound. The shame was not a block, it was a vault. And inside that vault, your true power, your cosmic signature, you Omega Cud. So let's ask the only question that matters right now. Can you turn toward the very thing you've been avoiding inside yourself? Not to fix it, not to judge it, but to meet it, to see it, to listen to what it's been trying to tell you. Because here's the truth. Every Omega chosen one has a moment where they stop running, where they turn inward and say, "Show me." And when they do, the shame begins to speak not in words but in codes. It tells you what you were born to remember. It tells you what gifts were hidden inside the wound. It tells you why you had to fall so far, so hard, so young. Not because you were weak, but because you were strong enough to carry the blueprint into the underworld. And now it's time to walk it back into the light. But this isn't a one-time thing. Integration is layered. You'll meet your shame again and again, each time at a deeper octave. And each time you'll have a choice, judge it or initiate through it. This is the real spiritual path, not bypassing darkness, but becoming the light that can hold it without flinching. That's what makes an Omega chosen one different. We don't seek perfection, we seek wholeness. We don't chase purity, we embody truth. And that truth includes your grief, your rage, your confusion, your unmet needs. You don't need to transcend those parts. You need to seat your soul inside them and let them become holy again. Because once you do that, you stop being a seeker. You become the medicine. Now let me get practical, because this isn't just mystical poetry. This is spiritual technology. If you're truly walking the Omega path, your shame will show up in certain patterns. Maybe you self-sabotage every time you get close to success. Maybe you push love away because you believe you're unworthy. Maybe you stay small, quiet, invisible, because a part of you believes being seen is dangerous. These aren't flaws. These are entry points. Instead of trying to fix them, dialogue with them. Ask, what are you protecting me from? Ask, what memory are you guarding? Ask, what would happen if I loved you instead of feared you? These questions begin to unlock the vault. You don't need to understand the whole picture yet. You just need to open the door. And once you do, everything changes. You start to feel a strange new power rising inside you. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind. The quiet, anchored, unshakable kind. The kind of power that doesn't need to prove anything. The kind of power that walks into a room and shifts the field without saying a word. That's what happens when shame transforms into sovereignty. You stop playing roles. You stop negotiating your worth. You remember who you are. And more importantly, you start living from that remembrance. That's when the Omega frequency becomes more than a concept. It becomes a force, and you become a transmitter of that force wherever you go. But here's the deepest layer, and it's one most teachers won't tell you. That shame you carry, it's not just yours. Omega chosen ones are collective carriers. You agreed to process not just your own karmic lineage, but that of your bloodline, your ancestry, even of the collective itself. That's why your pain has felt too big for one life, because it is. You are part of a soul network, what I call the Omega Grid, a collection of beings encoded to hold, feel, and alchemize the density of the collective field. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing us. And the more you own your wound as sacred, the more you unlock the power to do that. So ask yourself again, what if your greatest shame is the exact proof that you were designed to be a planetary frequency holder? You see now, don't you? This isn't just about signs. It's about signatures. And yours has always been there, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be claimed. So let me leave you with this one truth. The Omega Chosen One is not the one who shines the brightest. It's the one who turns their deepest darkness into the brightest light. If that's you, if you're ready to stop hiding, stop fixing, stop apologizing, then welcome. You're not just on the path, you are the path. The final activation, you are the Omega Code, now live as the fractal flame. You've made it to the final transmission. That's not a small thing. Most people turn back. Not because they're weak, but because their soul didn't sign up for this level of reality restructuring. But you did, and that's why you're still here. You've walked through the signs. You brought your shame to the altar. You've begun to glimpse the deeper truth that you're not just here to awaken, you're here to embody a frequency that catalyzes evolution in others by your presence alone. Now we enter the final phase. Activation. This is the part where we stop talking about the Omega Chosen One like an idea and start living it as a field. It's no longer something you believe in. It's something you broadcast. Activation doesn't mean you suddenly become flawless. It means you integrate your fragmentation into coherence. It means that the parts of you that once felt like contradictions, your rage and your love, your fear and your wisdom, your silence and your fire, begin to harmonize into a singular frequency. You become a living paradox, a cosmic contradiction, an embodied transmission of both /and. This is the Omega field in motion. It is not linear. It is not dualistic. It is fractal. You are no longer trying to become light. You are realizing you already are the light, but you are also the darkness that taught the light how to shine without arrogance. And that fusion, that's what makes you untouchable. Here's what nobody tells you: once you activate, your life doesn't get easier. It gets truer. That means the illusions fall off faster. The lies become intolerable. The half-truths and energetic compromises you used to tolerate, they start to burn. People will project. Systems will resist you. Your own mind will throw its final tantrums. Why? Because you're no longer running the software of survival. You're running the code of sovereignty. And the old matrix, both internal and external, can't run on that frequency. So it will try to glitch you, test you, confuse you. But it's all part of the integration. Stay grounded, stay clear, stay in your body. The soul doesn't fully land until the nervous system learns how to hold it. So let's talk embodiment. Because here's where most spiritual teachings stop. They wake you up, but they don't walk you in. The Omega Path demands embodied rituals, not performance practice. That means you must create daily structures that support your frequency. Movement, breath, silence, expression, boundaries, nourishment. You are no longer just a person. You are a living transmitter. That means your energy field is a technology, and it must be maintained like one. You don't meditate to be spiritual. You meditate to be coherent. You don't journal to be poetic. You journal to clear static from your channel. Every action is now a calibration. Every choice, a signal to the universe. I remember who I am. And don't forget this. The more activated you become, the more lonely it can feel at first, because your frequency starts to outpace familiar patterns. Old friends may fall away. Opportunities may dissolve. You might feel like you're in a void. But this isn't abandonment. This is alignment. The field is clearing space for your true matches to find you. You are a multi-dimensional lighthouse now, and the ships that are meant to dock with you can only find you when your light is consistent. Don't dim to attract. Don't shrink to survive. Keep broadcasting. Keep vibrating. Your frequency is your invitation. And trust this, the others are coming. The soul family, the allies, the builders of the new grid. You were never meant to do this alone. You were just meant to go first. Now let me speak to the deepest layer. The reason you were given the Omega signature, the reason you carry this fire in your bones, it's not for status, it's not for clout. It's because you are a seed of the next civilization. That might sound dramatic, but it's not a metaphor. The old systems are collapsing, the old paradigms are dying, and from the ashes something ancient and new must rise. Not built on fear, not built on hierarchy, but on resonance, on truth, on integrity. And it will be built through you, through your art, through your parenting, through your leadership, through your presence. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to recode it. And the code is you. The code is how you live, how you love, how you walk through the fire and don't forget your light. So I offer you this final question, and I want you to take it into your bones, into your breath, into your silence. If your soul chose to carry the Omega frequency across lifetimes, through bloodlines, through centuries of forgetting, then what are you doing with it now? Are you hiding it beneath people-pleasing? Are you diluting it to make others comfortable? Are you waiting for permission to shine? Because I'll tell you now, the world has no idea what it's waiting for until you become it. You are the miracle. You are the message. You are the myth walking itself into reality. And the moment you stop apologizing for your frequency, the grid activates. So here we are, the end of the transmission, but the beginning of your embodiment. You now know the signs. You've walked the shame gate. You've felt the code vibrating in your cells. Now it's time to live it. Speak it. Create from it. Lead with it. This isn't a brand. This isn't a movement. This is a remembrance. And if you feel it, if you know, then stop scrolling. Stop second-guessing. Stop waiting for the world to catch up. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to follow your frequency. You are the Omega chosen one, not because you're better, but because you remembered what others forgot. Now walk, now lead, now build the world that only you can see. The Omega Mirror. Reflections after awakening. What you do now shapes 10,000 years. You thought that was the end, didn't you? But here's the secret that only initiates discover. There is no end to awakening. There are only thresholds. And now that you've crossed the threshold of remembering, the real work begins. Not the work of effort, but the work of embodied resonance. You are no longer walking as a seeker. You are walking as a mirror. Every person who meets you from this moment forward will, on some level, be looking into a reflection of their highest potential or their deepest resistance. That's not a responsibility to fear. That's a gift to honor. You are the Omega Mirror now. And what you reflect will either trigger or awaken, repel or attract, depending on where others are in their own remembering. But your job is not to manage their reaction. Your job is to remain clear. And clarity, beloved, is not perfection. It's presence. It's being so grounded in your own truth that you are no longer performing. no longer campaigning for acceptance, no longer editing your essence to fit into outdated templates. When you live in clarity, your yes becomes holy, your no becomes sacred, your silence becomes magnetic. This is the frequency the world has forgotten, sovereign presence. It is the antidote to the noise. It is the medicine for the matrix, and you must protect it. Not with armor, but with discernment. Not with walls, but with frequency alignment. That means you will begin to notice who drains you, who expands you, who mirrors you, and who tries to mute you. Let those revelations guide your next steps. Don't analyze them. Feel them. Let's go even deeper. People will start projecting onto you. Why? Because once you carry the Omega code, you become invisible to the ego but visible to the soul. That means people's unconscious shadows may try to latch onto your light. They may envy you, praise you, resist you, or try to claim you. None of that is personal. It's simply the nervous system of the collective reacting to a frequency it doesn't yet understand. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be true. And that means learning to hold your frequency even when misunderstood, especially when misunderstood. You don't fight for clarity, you embody it. And eventually your life becomes so aligned with truth that words become unnecessary. Your field speaks louder than your voice ever could. So now what? What does life look like from here? It looks like sacred simplicity, not flashy, not performative, but radiantly real. It means you wake up and ask, what is the most coherent move I can make today? It means you design your days around resonance, not reaction. Your calendar becomes a spell. Your conversations become rituals. Your choices become codes. You stop chasing impact and start becoming the field of impact itself. You stop seeking meaning and start living as the embodiment of meaning. You become a walking, breathing, transmitting reminder of what is possible when a human lives from soul instead of script. And yes, you'll still cry. You'll still doubt. You'll still stumble. That's part of the design. Because the Omega path doesn't make you superhuman. It makes you fully human. But now your pain doesn't collapse you, it expands you. Your confusion doesn't derail you, it refines you. Your darkness doesn't shame you, it initiates you. You become like the forest, wild, still, alive, and self-regenerating. You stop trying to be light and instead become the source that fuels others to remember their own. That's the final paradox of the Omega frequency. Once you stop trying to be special, you become irreplaceable. Now I want to ask you something daring, something sacred, and only you can answer it. What would your life look like if you stopped pretending you weren't the one? I don't mean the egoic the one. I mean the frequency-coded, purpose-spiraling embodiment of a soul that came here to shift the timeline. What would change if you accepted that you are the living prophecy? Not because someone anointed you, but because you remembered yourself across time, space, and bloodline. What would you stop waiting for? What would you start building? What would you finally burn away? That's the invitation. That's the flame. And you've always known it, haven't you? Even as a child, even in your loneliest nights, something was burning inside you that didn't make sense in the world you were born into. But now it does. Now you know. Now you remember. So take this final truth and let it brand itself into your being. You are not just chosen, you are the choosing. You are not just here to fulfill a destiny. You are here to design it. Not from ego, from essence, from alignment, from love so ancient and so fierce, it terrifies the false and awakens the real.